What's up, gingos? Today I want to talk about how to actually get more women, right? Because I was doing a little bit more research onto it because I was just curious, right? Because I always feel like when growing up, right, I didn't get a lot of attention from women or whatever, right? And as I grew up, I started getting more and more attention from women, and I also started getting more and more attention from men too, which is like it was weird, but it made sense because it was like as I went to the gym more and I like took care of myself more physically. I think the physical aspect of me like taking care of myself, which is like technically like self care is like technically considered like feminine or whatever, but like the physical side where I was like getting stronger and I was getting leaner and I was putting on more muscle, that's what got the attention of men, and like it got me thinking like why is it that someone like I'll be in the gym and I'll be walking around and so many people will stare at me like and it's not even like subtle. It's like they will stare right into my eyes, like guys, like older men, like way older, like 40, 50, and then like girls will also stare at me, and I'm like, I always wonder what they're thinking, right? Because it's like at first I was like, okay, maybe they're like when I used to go to my old gym, it was a lot of old people, so I was like, oh, they're just staring because like they're seeing a young guy relatively, and it's like I'm in shape or whatever, right? But now it's like happens like where I am. There's lots of like guys that are in shape, and there's lots of guys in general. So it's like I don't know why they still stare at me, and I feel like it goes more towards the idea of male gaze and female gaze, right? Which is like, I don't know if you've heard of that, right? But for most men, right, they think like men, right? So they have the male gaze. And so if you think about it, right, when you think of a man and you think of like a, a successful man, you think of like a guy who's rich, tall, good physique, has a nice car, big house, lots of women, powerful, things of that nature, right? But that's the male gaze, right? We think like that, and so we start working towards that, right? And so we'll go to the gym, we'll really focus on our money, we'll hope that we're tall, we'll try to buy a nice car, right? Because we think that these things will actually attract women, right? Or whatever that we want. We'll think we'll be better than our coworkers or whatever the case may be. Whatever reason you want the success of this like ideal man, it's a male gaze, right? And so when you actually get any of these things, you realize the women aren't actually attractive. And a lot of these guys, no matter what you say, like biologically, we're wired to do things in order to attract women. And so when we go for these things, it's one factor is definitely just trying to get more women, right? And like trying to be rich and like wanting to be tall and like muscular or whatever, right? But when you get any of these things, you realize the women aren't just throwing themselves at you, right? You're like, oh, why did I do like you'll see so many guys that will be like, oh, I was so fat and ugly. I went to the gym and I grew up and now I'm in shape and the girls are still not. Like, where are the girls at, right? And it's like, you'll realize you were aiming at the male gaze. And so, like, as you put on more muscle, as you make more money, as you have a nice car, you actually get more and more attention from men. They'll be like, oh my God, bro, what do you do for your physique? Oh, how did you get this car? Or how did you get this girl? Whatever it is, right? And this is all like people talk about it, like it's mainly put in media where you're like, you think all these like Jason Momoa or like Michael B. Jordan, like all these guys, right? They're like rich and they're good looking and they're in shape. So you believe that if you're like that, you'll also get a lot of women, right? And the only way for that to actually work is if it works in mass media. So if you were to get yourself to be like rich, like an Andrew Tate or whatever, right? And then you put yourself out there like on a platform where you have a big following or whatever, then yes, like you'll automatically just attract girls because it's just and they'll only be attracted to those things, even though they'll say it's to you, it's because you have those things you'll be able to provide for them. It only works on mass scale. Like I'm talking about, like you have to be like one to like millions of people, right? And that's the only way it'll work. But if it's like in a real day-to-day thing where you're actually gonna, it's not just like fangirls or whatever, it's actual women that you're trying to meet and be with or get with or whatever the case may be, you need to be more tailored in a female gaze, right? And it's very, very hard for a man to have a female gaze. And that's why it's like you have to do research to see or even talk to other women to see what is it they like. And like, even if you ask a woman, you'd be like, oh, what is it that you like about this guy or whatever, and they'll say the most like ridiculous answer, like what, how does that make any sense? And then you'll see like these girls, like really beautiful women with ugly guys, and it's like, why are you even into him? He has to be rich. Oh, he has to be really good in bed, or he has to be really strong, something, right? Like you always have these assumptions because that's how men think. But in reality, females, girls, the female gaze is so different from the male gaze, and that's what I was looking into. And essentially, like I had explained, the male gaze is like you want to be tall, rich, uh jacked, nice car, all this like things that are materialistic or whatever, right? But girls, the only physical things that I know from what I've read is like they care about like forearms and veins. The forearms because it looks like you do hard work. Nails because it means that you take care of yourself. Soft hair, which I mean I guess it is. I know they like soft hair and big eyes. I don't know. I think that's just I don't know how to explain that one. Nice smile, which it's common from both genders to like, but for women it just like seems like the guy is more nice. So it's like what, and it's like the other ones are just they're non-threatening, funny, sweet, ambitious, intellectual, caring, things of that nature. So I realize like for men, for the male gaze, it's more towards connected towards physical things, right? So like being taller, being rich, you can have a nice car, a nice house, or being jacked. Like it's all physical things that you physically see. But the women, they like things that are emotionally tied to them. So like if you're ambitious, it means that you care more. If you have nice nails, it means that you take care of yourself. If you have big forms, it means you are a hard worker. It's like everything that the females like is like linked to an emotion, which makes sense because women think more emotionally and men think more logically. And I feel like it's very easy for a guy to be a good mix of both, because you shouldn't only want to be in the female gaze, because I think as a man, like a strong masculine man, you wouldn't have the ideal lifestyle per se that you would want. Like me, even though I know the difference between the male gaze and female gaze, I still would rather be in the idealistic version of a male gaze, because I still want to be rich, I still want to be tall, I want to be jacked, I want to be all the things, right? And in terms of just getting women, that's the only thing you should really focus on for the female gaze. So it's like, you know, when you're trying to get jacked, you can easily get like more vascular, so have more veins. You can easily get bigger forearms. You can easily take care of your nails, your skin, your hair, right? These are all like, the female gaze is literally just taking care of yourself a little bit more than the average man would, which is like considered feminine. That's why lots of guys didn't do it before, right? And I feel like if you have a good mix of both, you can attract men, which is like, I know that's not your goal. It's not my goal either, but it still happens. But it's like, attention is attention, right? If you're trying to, not that you want the attention, but it's like people get attention for certain reasons. And if you're getting it, it means you're doing something right? And so it's like, if I'm getting attention from other guys in the gym, it means I'm obviously doing something correct in the gym. I have a good physique, or, you know, they know that I'm putting in the work or whatever, right? It's like, I don't want that attention, but it's happening because the prerequisite is that I'm doing something right. And the female gaze is you actually do want that attention because you want women or whatever, right? And it's very easy to get a good balance of both. But it's like the things that I listed out, you can easily figure it out for yourself and how to apply them for yourself. And if you do this, you'll get more and more attention from girls. You'll know how to better interact with women, because you won't be like, oh, is she attracted to me, or am I making her feel scared, or whatever the case may be, right? If you have all these weird assumptions, if you know what females are looking for, you can put yourself in positions to have those things, and then you can attract a lot more women. It's that simple. Understand female gaze. Like, things that I mentioned are very like the clear forefront thing, and then after that, it's just like, if you're not, most guys would be like, oh, I don't know if that girl's attracted to me, this and that. Girls are not that shallow, right? So your physical look doesn't actually matter to them as much. As long as if you have these things, you're already ahead of most guys, right? So then you're technically attractive physically. So if you go up to them, it won't matter if you're physically attractive or whatever, or if like you're rich. Like, these things don't matter again, right? And if you just show her that you have a good personality, that you're the things that I mentioned, being sweet, ambitious, caring, and like if you're watching this video, I assume you're ambitious, you care, you're probably a nice guy or whatever, right? Like, you're not like a dickhead or whatever. She'll be attracted to that. And that's how all these not so good looking guys are getting with these beautiful women, is because they have somehow understood and applied themselves into the female gaze. And if you do that, you'll get a lot more women, a lot more beautiful women. We're all gonna win. We're all gonna win. I'm telling you.